So the first thing you want to do before plasma cutting anything is to make sure the air compressor on. And if you come on to our back room, flip this switch, and that'll turn on the air compressor. The next thing you want to do is turn on the dryer. If the air compressor's on, the dryer should always be on because the dryer will get rid of moisture in our gas line or any condensation. Alright, so once you've turned on the air compressor and the dryer, come on over here to the plasma cutter CPU and turn the unit on. And then once that's done, you want to come on over here to the actual plasma cutter and turn the actual plasma cutter on. Alright, once everything's turned on, now you want to go ahead and open up the laptop here at the plasma cutter. And we're going to come on over here and we're going to open up Velocity CNC 7. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and open it. Alright, so the next thing we want to do now is come on up here and connect to the plasma cutter CPU or computer. So I'm going to click connect. I'm going to agree to these safety protocols. Please read through them. Okay, and I will be here with you to make sure that you do and you're following all safety protocols. Select agree. Okay, we're now connected. Let's go ahead and load our file here. So we need to locate our G-code file. Mine is saved to the desktop. Yours might be saved to your thumb drive or someplace else. So go ahead now and select open and you should see your NC or G-code file show up here in this bottom window. The next thing you want to do is grab the piece of sheet metal you want to cut and lay it in place on the plasma cutter where you want it. Take the ground clamp here and secure it to your sheet metal, and then take the torch height clamp and place it right next to it so that they're both secured onto the piece of sheet metal. Alright, so with our sheet metal in place where we want it, the next thing we want to do is position our torch, okay? And we can use our jog controls here on our control panel to move the torch. So keep in mind that positive Y will move the torch away from you if you're standing at the controls. Minus Y will move the torch towards you. Minus X will move it to your left. Positive X will move it to your right. Z positive will move the torch up. And Z minus will move the torch down. And be very careful with negative Z movements. You do not want to crash the torch into your sheet metal. So be very, very careful with your negative Z movements. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and use my jog controls here to move my torch where I want it. So I'm going to move it towards me, left. Actually, I'm going to move it up just a little bit, and I'm going to start moving it down with my Z, and be very careful with your Z movements. And that looks about right. The next thing I want to do, once I have the torch where I want it, I'm going to come on up here, I'm going to select Set 0 All. And what that will do is it'll change the origin right here, this yellow dot. It'll make a new position. It'll change my origin to a new position, which is where I want it. Alright, another good thing that you always want to do is check to make sure that you're not going to run out of sheet metal as you're plasma cutting. So to do this, I'm going to move my torch in a positive Y direction, and notice the yellow dot on my screen. Okay, I'm good in that direction. I'm not going to run out of sheet metal, and I'm going to go across now to make sure I have enough sheet metal. And I'm good. Alright, once that's done, you can go ahead and select play. You're ready to run your program. Okay, go ahead and select play. Get your safety glasses on, and we'll go ahead and run our G-code. Alright, and when you're done, go ahead and lift your torch height up in a Z positive movement. So it's out of the way. And be careful because the metal is extremely hot. Do not touch it until it is cooled down. Take your ground clamp off, as well as your torch height clamp. Take that off as well. So remember, it's never a good idea to grab your part with your bare hands. It could be hot. Grab some pliers or some tongs and go ahead and remove it safely. And when you're all finished, don't forget to turn off the plasma cutter, the air compressor, and the dryer as well. That'll conclude this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.